Welcome to the Uncanny J-Men. I am Jade, and I have a very interesting theory I want to share with you all. So if you've been following our channel over the last couple of weeks, we've been doing a discussion every week about Moon Knight. The newest episode, what's been going on, our theories, our thoughts, and kind of just giving a deep dive into that episode and everything we saw that was going on. But it got me thinking, I don't think the villain, Arthur Harrow, is everything he appears to be. I think there's something he's keeping secret from us. I'm going to get into that. Alright, yeah, if you've been joining us, you know we've been talking at length about everything. And Arthur Harrow was a very interesting villain from the start. Breaking glass, putting it in his sandals and walking away and relishing in that pain. Oof, that was brutal to start off. Definitely set the tone for the series. But what I want to talk about goes a lot further than that, and it's heavily spoilers everywhere. There's going to be spoilers for the entire show up until episode 4. That's the last one I've seen at this point that's even come out. That I want to discuss something that I think may be happening with Arthur that we might not find out until the finale, or maybe even later. So what is it that I'm looking at and what I'm seeing? I think Arthur is an avatar for a different god currently. We know that he was once Khonshu's avatar. We know that he's looking for Ammit to release from the tomb or from the Shupti. But there's a few things that I've seen that makes me think that he's currently an avatar of a different god. So let me get into that right now. The first thing that we see is Arthur's kind of abilities, his powers. I mean, he has a lot of knowledge about Egyptian gods, not just Egyptian gods from what our historical texts say, but the Egyptian gods as they exist in the Marvel Universe, with their actually being real creatures from space, essentially, that interacts with the world and all the lore and how they can be put into stone and taken out. He knows a lot of information that he would not have known if he hadn't been Khonshu's avatar, but even further than that, he's done a deep dive. He's gone real deep into trying to understand everything that's going on and feel like he can make the difference here. We see him in the second episode, I believe. He summons a creature using the cane that has the 2 alligator heads. He lifts the cane up in the air, chants some words that I do not know, hits the cane against the ground, and a portal, the ground just caves out, a hole appears, and a jackal comes up from it. We also see the same jackal in episode 1 chasing Stephen through the museum, chasing him through the museum. What's interesting about that is that jackals aren't really the creatures of Ammit. Jackals aren't. I mean, it's alligators or crocodiles, or they're the Nile. It's crocodile-faced or alligator-faced god would use the alligators, not jackals. So that's one thing that keyed me into, is this really Ammit's power that he's using, or is he tapping into something else? The next thing that we see also is that in episode 1, and since then we've seen it a bunch more times, but the symbol that they use for the cult, the clan, the worshippers of Ammit, and the tattoo that's on their arms is of scales. The balancing of scales and the judging of a person. And then, so like Arthur grabs hold of that old lady, judges her scales, sees and is, oh, she wasn't a good person, so then he kills her. What's interesting about that is Ammit doesn't judge people. Like, that's not something that Ammit does according to historical texts and everything. Is Ammit is what happens after a person is judged. Ammit is the devourer of unworthy souls, of those who have been judged to be bad people. Ammit is the one who devours that soul, not the one that actually does the judging. So that also keyed me in. That was the first thing, really, that made me feel like maybe this isn't everything it seems to be, that there's something else going on. Also, the relationship between Ammit and the god I'm thinking Arthur Harrow is actually an avatar of is very tight. They're close. So like I said previously, the scales aren't Ammit's. Ammit devours the souls after they are judged. Who's the one that does the judging before Ammit gets to devour? Anubis. So my theory is that Arthur Harrow is actually the current avatar of Anubis, and that's why he has the scales to judge someone as worthy or not worthy, kills them, but doesn't at this point do anything with their soul. I think that's the important thing right now, is their soul still resides with the body. Ammit isn't there to finish the task, and that's why Anubis's avatar is trying to release Ammit. The second half, the continuation of that effort, of the death and destruction effort. So with Arthur trying to release Ammit on behalf of Anubis, it just makes Anubis that much more powerful. Another one on Anubis' side, another one towards death and destruction and the judging and devouring of souls. They work so well together as deities, it would make sense that they would also want to work together in this Marvel universe. Anubis also, it has a jackal head. That is Anubis' design. That's always been the case for Egyptian depictions of Anubis, was that jackal head with jackal minions. So the summoning of jackals, the cane itself has alligator heads, and he talks a good story about, it's the power of Ammit that's doing this, but it doesn't have to be, and we don't really know that it is. We just assume it is because the cane does it. But is it really Arthur Harrow doing it, using the cane as kind of like an instrument to funnel and channel his abilities that he has as an avatar for Anubis? And I would easily shoot this theory down, except there are a few more things that I noticed. One is, Anubis is part of the Aeneid, and he did not show up to the trial. The trial of Arthur was in front of 5 other gods. Anubis is a very big god, and was not there. Also, we did see some Shuptis in this last episode, and I tried to look for some jackal face. It was hard. I didn't see one, so I don't think Anubis is sealed away in a Shupti either, in those sealed in stone and not able to be interacted with. We know that Arthur's not Ammit's avatar, because Ammit is sealed away. Can't be the avatar there. Just like right now, currently, Khonshu is locked away, and that makes it so that Mark and Steven aren't really his avatar anymore. They're free from that avatar duties, of those responsibilities, those powers. And finally, the biggest thing that I think would lean towards that is that we see Osiris interacting with Arthur a lot more as if they're on the same side. And while Arthur was an avatar for Khonshu, Arthur seems to have some ability to just show up in the Great Pyramid, in that like region where they were doing the judging, without the need of an intercession of a god. The reason I say that is because we see Arthur come for the trial. He's summoned to the trial. We could say that is a god doing that summoning. Osiris created a door. Arthur knew to go through it. But then later, time passes, and then Khonshu is sealed in that stone. He's made into that Shupti. And we see Arthur come back. He's back again. He got there somehow. He wasn't necessarily invited back from like the trial. He doesn't have a god on his side directly. Somehow he got there. So we either have to assume Osiris just let him in and wasn't there at the time, or he has a god also working on his behalf, and that is Anubis. It's interesting to think. It may be true, it may not be. That's why it's a theory. I mean, I'm happy to be proven wrong and see great things happen in the show either way. But everything keeps pointing me towards this Anubis thread. That Arthur actually is the death god's avatar, killing people but not devouring their souls, not doing the Ammit part. That's why he wants Ammit back. It's not for the judging. The judging is already being done. And we know that Arthur is not above just killing someone without judging them. He's done that to a homeless person who picked up the scarab in episode 3 or 2. I might have been the end of 2. He's okay with just killing someone without judging them. That's counter to what he's been saying about judging those before killing, or killing before they've done anything wrong. Is he didn't judge the homeless person and kill them, he just killed them. He's a violent, pain-loving person. And that's a perfect match for Anubis's avatar. Someone who wants to kill and feel the pain and suffering and just empowers everything that god looks for and wants. There's nothing that says an avatar can't be two different people or two different gods at two different times. Could be Khonshu's avatar, then become Anubis's avatar. It'd be interesting to see what happens in the next couple episodes as they round out this season. But in my book, the summoning jackals, judging whether someone is worthy or not, which is Anubis' ability, Anubis not showing up to the Aeneid's judging of Arthur, and his strange partnership with the other gods or with Osiris, and being able to get back into the Pyramid of Giza without a god summoning him there himself. All of those things together makes me feel like Arthur has to be Anubis's avatar. But we'll see. Let me know what you think, and of course, if you haven't been watching any of our discussion videos, we have 2 more coming out after each of the episodes coming out of the rest of the season. We'll have additional discussion videos for anything Marvel as it comes out, trailered analysis, but please take a look at our discussion videos, subscribe, like, and let me know what you think of this theory. Or is there something else going on with Arthur, or do you think it's just as straightforward as they're showing us right now? I never truly trust them. Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for joining me.